Hey, good afternoon, everybody. So I um I mentioned looking into like a spell slinger deck for Aragorn. I've done the Legend Matters thing and like the way kind of it's played. I've played it for quite some time just on Brawl and I played it in the LGS. It's always been very fun. I'd like to maybe the spell slinger though is slightly more powerful. And I think what you'll notice when you play Magic for a couple years is that the mid range play styles are really nasty. You know, the ones that can really rope you in to committing to a board and then getting your legs kind of kicked out from underneath you and then kind of losing that card advantage. It's kind of like, okay, this is going to be the end of the game. Like, I mean, you can fight, and I always like to fight, but there's some decks, it's just like, it's kind of like, if you don't have the right tools to, balance it out, the key cards that RNG, then usually you just lose to them. So when we're thinking about spell slinging for Aragorn, I think really the one that stands out is that 3 damage to target opponent. And we want to build a deck that's going to, capitalize on that. So I'm still acquiring cards here, and there are some choices that, might not look like spells or sorceries or instants, but really there is a purpose for them. And I'll kind of discuss like kind of what goes on in my thought process for these, okay? So in terms of just like an interesting spell altogether, right, is the Lorn of the Third Path. This isn't going to go into our burn strategy at all necessarily on first glance, but what's really nice about this is it has removal when it comes down into the battlefield. You basically take out any artifact or enchantment. And then for the tap, you and a target opponent each draw a card. So it can get on the offensive, it can do damage, it can turn on some of our cards through doing combat damage. And additionally, because it has vigilance, you can, wait till opponent's end step, tap it down, and then you and an opponent can draw a card. So you kind of accrue that value intermittently and kind of recharge your hand, always keeping like some cards in hand, which is really important for a burn deck, especially if our spells are like lower costed. So we like this one a lot. In terms of like storming off and kind of doing those type of things with your cards, I think Metamorphose is a nice one where it's going to replace itself with mana. You're going to get to draw a card. It seems like just one of those perfect kind of options, right? Metamorphose. Big scores. This one's pretty cool too. It's going to help build our graveyard because we want to put stuff in our graveyard. And additionally, it's going to give us some more cards and it's going to ramp us and it has instant speed. So we like that. Galvanic Iteration. You'll notice that all these spells probably have red in their pips because that's the way we deliver the burn to our opponents with Aragorn. Galvanic Iteration is just another option. It's going to work really well with some of our more powerful blue spells like Time Walk too. And also additionally, it has the flashback. So we're always looking for cards that have flashback. We're going to be accruing value from our graveyard. Same with Faceless Looting. It's a nice one that kind of can tone your hand, can get rid of some cards that maybe you don't need. It has a flashback as well. We love that about this card. Angel Fire Ignition also has that red in its pip. We can put this on Aragorn or another creature we have, and also have that flashback as well. So yeah, once again, it's just a nice strong card for Aragorn, and it's going to be something nice that we can utilize and have that flashback. So another good option there. Here's the Mystical Tutor. We're definitely going to be playing the suite of tutors, Worldly Tutor, Mystical Tutor, and Enlightened Tutor. So yeah, fantastic. Gamble's also probably a more interesting one too. So, because if we're going to be utilizing, I don't know exactly how much we're going to be utilizing our graveyard. I got to kind of, we're going to be utilizing it, but I know, for instance, we're going to be playing Narset, the Enlightened Exile. That's a good one with Aragorn, and additionally Mizzet's Mastery. So, those are ones definitely that will take advantage of the graveyard. So, I don't know about gamble. It's definitely an interesting choice though, and it is red, so I definitely should probably consider it. Are we going to be playing white removal? I believe so. Yes, I think this one is fine. At least one, just like a kind of a definitive exile card. Fourth Lingus kind of checkbox all the marks. You know, it kind of gives us a presence there with our board. It can draw us cards with a monarch, so we like that one. I think it's going to be fine for this deck as well. Lightning Bolt, just an OG burn spell. This is just going to be nice to get our burn going. It's going to be very cool. The red spell does 3 damage to a target. Yeah, we love it. It's so much damage it can do. Same with Vandal Blast, just a great option here. It's red. Can take out lots of artifacts, kind of fits into our villain identity. Blasphemous Act also fits into that kind of like that villain identity as well. Just, you know, takes out everything. So I don't have access to this card on the arena. I use, you know, would I like something like this? I think so. I think it's geared more for Commander, of course. So just like a nice Commander card. Chaos Warp. I think I'd rather run like a Beast Within, so I'll put that one in the maybe pile. I'd rather like have a Beast Within to make sure that, you know, we're not giving too much value to our opponents. So rather than have them a 3/3 green Beast token, I think is fine. This one's a nice choice for ramp to Chandra. I like it. This one is absolutely crazy with the burn, the Fiery Inscription. Play an instant or sorcery spell. Fire Inscription deals 2 damage to each opponent. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Like just loads of damage. It's a really crazy card. Really sweet for this deck. Smothering Tithe just for the mana advantage. We're going to be utilizing, we're going to need mana, right? We're going to want to keep getting our advantage with our bigger spells. And we need the mana to cast them. You can imagine like, I think we're playing Magma Opus in this deck. So we might need that kind of mana production. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, also good with treasures. Whirlwind of Thought, this is going to be good for our non-creature spells to give us that gas. Song Creation is also good. And it's going to be very good with our flashback cards because we can keep that train rolling with the Song Creation. Atarka Command, this one is the, it can ping like all your opponents for 3 damage. It also has the option to land, to give you some ramp too, so it's just another good card. Really good value for red and green and Commander. This one's an interesting one. Is it Charm? It is red and its mana value acts as kind of a counter spell. So, you know what? I think I'm going to utilize it. You know, kind of get a little risky. I mean, I could run like a, you know, perhaps another kind of counter spell or such. But we could use this as like an interesting counter spell. We can deal some damage, or likely probably what we'll utilize this for is to draw 2, discard 2. Honestly, like probably maybe not the best card, but I want to see how it will do in this particular deck. So it has a lot of modes and it's instant speed. So this one's a nice choice, the Naya Charm, because you can return like a Time Warp to your hand or such, and you can kind of loop this with like a Gala Bed Recovery and kind of loop those 2 together and have like a nice combo. So it should always have some sort of combo in your deck, right? Some sort of combo is always nice. Kind of gives like kind of a signature to your deck, you know. All right, here's the Worldly Tutor. We have the Worldly Tutor, the Mystical Tutor. Burn Down the House is going to be a fantastic choice for this one, where you know, we have the non-combat damage. Again, this is like a preliminary kind of, I just went through my binder in a previous video I just made. It was me just going through my collection. There's some really nice, oh, I totally forgot the Mechanized Warfare. Like, it's kind of criminal, but I didn't even have that. Let's see, I think I had my Aggravated Assault over it. Yeah, that was a mistake. Let's try to get this one back in there. Okay, yeah. There we go. I got a bunch of these. Mechanized Warfare. Yeah, just this card really goes well with Burn Down the House. It turns your devils into like these 2/2 hasty boys, and if they die, they just do 2 damage to like something else. It's like such a nasty thing. Like with this burn strategy, like really, Aragorn is just kind of chilling as a companion. Like you can probably just win the game just with the power of the burn. The burn is strong. Lauren Revealed is kind of an interesting choice. I like that it kind of gets into our yard. Kind of maybe later on utilize our yard for some value. We'll definitely be utilizing the white kind of mass removal like Farewell and Soulfall. I want to put a Wrath of God in here as well. So maybe that's like reasoning not to play a Blasphemous Act. Like, you know, why play like a Blasphemous Act when I can just run like a Wrath, you know? It's probably better. So we'll definitely have access to white. So there's probably, I do want to run a Brotherhood's End though, just because you can hit artifacts with that as well. So I think that one's very cool, and it can be utilized in the beginning of the game. Spikefield Hazard. These 1-mana red cards get so much more value with Aragorn because they just, with Aragorn on the battlefield, they're pinging for extra damage. And just this card will have such good synergy with like the cards I haven't brought out from my like common uncommon selection, or like the Kessig Naturalist, the Thermonuclear Scientist, or something, some dude like that. There's a bunch of those cards that you just cast a spell and they ping each opponent. They're really brutal. So they just, everything gets better. Even the new God Ogier, I'm looking to get that one too, of course, for this deck. Here's a Brotherhood's End. We need some value too. We need to draw cards, of course, so Escape to the Wilds is a good choice. This is a good mana ramp thing to get into our yard too. Maybe I'll be able to utilize it later on. So I guess we're just going to keep on rolling through here. Prismari Command, just for some, maybe to take out a creature or an opponent, or an artifact. So that's one's really nice. Or maybe loot into our yard, make a treasure ramp a little bit. It's nice. Expressive Iteration, that's one's just a fantastic draw spell for us. We love that. This could be like a swan song, or Offer You Can't Refuse is nice for this deck. A little protection. Time Warp, going to be very good with our Galvanic Iteration. Soul Ring will be good if we'll play a couple rocks here, like Felwar Stone and Arcane Signet too. So just a good card on its own. Wandering Mind, this is fantastic. You're gonna be going into your library and looking for some cards. For non-creature cards, you could get to go 6 deep for them. You get to put it into your hand. It's fantastic. Very good with like our Fable, the Mirror Broken Kiki-Jiki token. And you're just copying that over and just getting more and more value. Here's Bergie, just another cool card that we can play on 3, and like I'll get the Urabrask as well. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And yeah, to round it out, we have our Bone Crusher Giant. So that'll be nice, of course, and because it has the adventure side for the spell, and then they can be cast as well. So it's like a two red spells in one. And then the Gold Span Dragon, just to go with all our treasure synergy. So yeah, this is kind of, what I'll do is I'll post the Brawl list into the description, and you can kind of get a look for that one. And yeah, that's, I mean, the Brawl list is really good. It's really strong. It's performing very well. So yeah, we're going up against most of the stronger commanders like Modi. We go against Narset, the Enlightened Master a couple times. Usually like kind of some more of the nasty ones, to be honest. Malcolm decks, those are pretty gross, but yeah, so far so good. So that's a bit it, everybody. So have a great day. See ya.